So I want to show you how I want my horses to back up. I think the backup is super important. I look for a horse that backs up really, really nice. And I really start working on it very early in my training program. We actually, by the time we break the 2-year-olds, we'll back them a lot in the driving lines already to get a good foundation. A horse that backs up really good is usually a horse that has a lot of softness to him. That's why it's important to have your horse soft so we can control the backup really easy. I want my horses to be able to stop and back up off of 3 cues. My voice cue, my hand cue, and a leg cue. So of course the very basic one is the voice cue. When I walk forward, oh, and say the word, I want my horse to back off of that word really easy. The number 2 cue is where I can walk forward and just draw him within my hand, and he'll back up again really easy and effortless. I'll draw him with my hand, turn him loose. And the 3rd cue is just for him to listen into my legs. Here I'm driving him forward, that's my gas pedal, I'm kicking every stride, and the second I release my legs, I want my horse to stop and back up. Now I think much of the secret to the backup is that I have a very solid cue and keeps it really clear for my horse when to end the backup. You never want the horse to guess a bunch. You want to keep it real clear where they understand it in a simple way. So my cue to end the backup is simply me putting my legs back on my horse. If I walk forward here and I release my leg and expect him to back up, then I expect him to back up on his own without me having to pull on his face or kick on him. But the cue to end the backup is me putting my legs back on his belly. Then he knows he should stop backing up. That way he won't never guess a bunch when I pull on him and release him if he should end the backup or not. The only time I let him end the backup is when I put my legs around his barrel again. So again, I'm walking forward, just take my legs off. He should start backing up on a loose rein, which he does pretty nicely. He should back until I put my legs on here. I see a lot of horses that wants to end the backup real early and doesn't back up very willingly. And that is because they're guessing. There's not a solid cue for them to end the backup. You know, when they pull on them, the horse go back up willing, and then they try to release a little bit, and the horse tries to stop the backup. Here I'm walking forward, I'm just going to do it with my hand now. Here I'm going to draw on him, and I pull a little harder, and he speeds up. I release on him, and he just keeps backing. I pull up on him, release him, and he just keeps backing until the cue comes on. I think that's the secret to a horse that is willing in the backup. Of course, the softness, too. There again, walking forward. And when I talk about releasing my legs, it's just putting my legs out to the side here a little bit, so the horse knows that nothing is on him, and then when I put my legs back in the belly, it ends the backup. Now, if you have a slow and sluggish backup, you need to work on a lot of softness, where you can pick that horse's backs and shoulders up in a straight line like he does here. He really rounded up when I picked up on him. But that's the secret to backing up. If I draw the slack out of the reins and he's dragging a little bit here, I can go to his belly and kick on him. And when I kick on him there, you saw how much he speeded up. I release, stop the backup. What the kicking on the horse's belly in the backup does is lifting the back up, is lifting the shoulders up, and therefore he gets in a more athletic position to back up. So that's when you go to your leg. And of course there I didn't have to do much with him. He really tried to be good. When I pull on him here a little bit, he just responds right away. On the same token, I want my horse to where I can mix this up. Sometimes I say the word, sometimes I release my legs, sometimes I just do it with my hand. That creates a very willing horse and a horse that accepts every cue for the backup at all times. So I have a lot of backup systems put in place. My automatic system, of course, is the word. You know, we want to be able to run our horses at a full gallop to stop on a loose rein just off a wall. That's an automatic system. But in order to get the horse to be automatic like this, I have to have a manual system in place. You know, to teach that and keep it automatic, I have to have a backup system where I manually can do it at all times. you know, if I would say the word here now and he wouldn't back up, this would be my correction. I would pull on him and I would say, whoa, whoa, reinforce that word. And that's the way I teach it, and that's the way I back it up if my automatic system fails. So that's why it's important to have the softness and be able to draw and pull on them, always to keep your horse honest and keep your horse working and functioning well.